Supersonic as far as ability. And I see him going off. They're off in the race rooms. We're going to get the video synced up here really fast. Dash, we're all familiar with World 1 by now. Anybody who's been following this tournament the whole time, we're probably going to see Sonic's going for the aggressive play here without the power-up, while ZZZ is going for the early power-ups. How do you think this race is going to play out?
Well, I'm curious to see if Supersonic is going to go for small fire, since if I recall correctly, I want to say Supersonic used to run small fire all the time. Except I think lately for the races, he might be going big fire.
He has adjusted his strategy a little bit. Supersonic is a small fire specialist, but now that he has the 1903, now that he's up there actually looking at world record strats, he has adjusted his play accordingly. He takes the Xerox safe bump there. I know Xerox isn't the first person to do it, but he's the person I learned how to do it from, so that's where I name it. And yeah, it's still in play. You'll see ZZZ is completely powered up right now. He's going to have a easier time going through 1-3, where Sonic, if he does grab the power up, that's where it's going to be. So 1-2, very clean for both of these guys. We'll see. Oh, ZZZ is going to start off with a little bit of fireworks there, Dash.
Yeah. So if you don't know, when you hit the flagpole in this game, if your timer ends on a 3 or a 6, you'll get 3 or 6 fireworks, which wastes a little bit of time. It's faster to hold back and get the 2 or the 5 instead. So where you waste a Mario second, but then you don't have to wait for fireworks. Incidentally, a 1 on the timer also gets you 1 firework, but that doesn't actually waste any time.
Absolutely. We're going through 1-3. Now here's the big question on where Sonic's going. I think he is going to take the power up just the way he's been playing recently. And
we had to wait for
there we go. Oh, tough grab for him, but he is through and he is powered up as well. You're going to see ZZZ also is going to have the good fire bars by getting the hold right. Sonic has to wait a little bit. ZZZ takes the hit early, though. So Sonic is going to have a huge advantage here coming out of World 1. Kill the Bowser. ZZZ's got to wait. Take the axe. Where is that time loss, Dash?
Well, 2-1 is a level that has a lot of power-ups in it. So, yeah, ZZZ looks to be just barely behind right now, but now he does have to collect a couple power-ups in 2-1. Surprisingly, he didn't go for that first power-up, so he's looking to, or the second, so he is looking to get the most optimal ones, it looks like.
Yeah, he's probably going to want to go small only for the first swim, which is going to be coming up after this. I take that wrong. He went for the one right there for the mushroom just before at the end, so...
Yeah, so interesting decisions from ZZZ on which power-ups he's taken here. He must just have a personal preference on which power-ups maybe have gotten him better luck in the past.
All right, so we're getting into the first of our swim levels here. We have 2 full-length swim levels and a little swim section at the end. A little bit different from your usual physics. There really isn't a fast or a slow swim per se, as long as you see him pounding that swim button there. You're going to have some cheats, you're going to have some bloopers. The bloopers go at some random patterns depending on which bloops you get, and you really have to navigate this fairly easy. You get the snipes here through some choke points if you want to maintain that power-up.
Yeah, and the choke point near the beginning of this level, I personally think to be one of the toughest parts of the game to get through without taking damage, and we saw both of our competitors get through that way. Interestingly, it looked like ZZZ was not duck swimming at that time. I think he engaged it at some point, but yeah, it was interesting to see him get through there as Big Fire Mario without duck swimming. That's pretty tough to do.
All right, so I see Takate calling a bold prediction for a 2 or 1 frame victory here. Little fun fact coming into this, 2-3, it's just a continuation on the cheats here. We currently in the Mario community have a new world record for the any percent category set by Taven Webb. He beat the old record by 3 whole frames. Now, anybody who's been with us for a while knows that Rupert won his match by 3 whole frames recently. The person who verified Taven's world record 3-frame run, Rupert himself.
Yeah, and let me just say, add on there, I love that our any percent Mario world record video is now a camera pointed at a TV. It's so good.
Beautiful old school. I know there's polarizing opinions on that, but Supersonic did not get the early fireballs, a little bit slower on the kill there, but he's through 2-4 very easily. There's a very difficult jump here. We're going to see ZZZ go for it. You actually have to duck jump and hope that fireball's in a position where you can avoid it and not get hit afterwards. It is a tough jump to make right there very early in the game. World 3 now coming in, just Sonic flying through, knowing the patterns, getting the snipes, absolutely beautiful, as the number 3 runner in the world should be doing, we should say. So, also, yes, I'm going to say that we have a new world record in Warpless 2. Cosmic is pushing for that sub 19. Thank you, Takate.
Yeah, absolutely. He was on pace for the sub what was it, sub 19? Yeah,
sub 19.
He was on pace for it, but a little silliness from Bowser kept it away.
It's been a fun time in the Mario community. This tournament has been a smashing success. The runners are just driving their times down. So much movement on the leaderboard for Warpless during this tournament. It's been absolutely amazing. A great time to check out any of these runners that you will see throughout the rest of this tournament. SuperSonic, meanwhile, just flying through World 3. ZZZ with some early hiccups, still maintaining his pace, though. He is not far behind, and we're still very early in this race, Dash.
Yeah, for sure. Really, we always like to say that the... I mean, I think that Worlds 2 and 3 have some tricky platforming that can be tough to get through optimally. And then World 4, besides Bowser at the end, is like a little bit of a snooze, and also besides how fun world or level 4-2 is. But levels levels 4-1 and 4-3 and like the level part of 4-4 are all pretty simple, and so world 4 tends to just kind of fly right by without you even really noticing what happened.
All right, Sonic taking the fireballs safe there in 3-4 to get through. You'll see ZZZ kind of do the same thing coming up through here. Runners these days on the Warpless category actually have a spreadsheet that lets them know what pattern they are for Podoboost. And ZZZ, as we say, takes a dip in the ragu. He's going to have to start 3-4 over without power-up. Sonic is going to increase his lead here in the easiest level in the game, 4-1.
Yeah, it looked like he slowed down to take the Podoboost safely, as you were talking about. But the thing about the way that Mario controls while you're in the air in this game is that you can slow down a little bit and then speed back up to full speed while you're in the air. But if you slow down too much, you might pass a threshold where then you can't regain full speed anymore. And that caused him to fall into the pit.
All right, SuperSonic's the first one to 4-2. In chat, are we top route or bottom route? I'm thinking Sonic's going bottom route. He loves those swags, so...
oh, yeah.
ZZZ, meanwhile, we'll see where he goes for power-up. There are a couple of power-ups here. He skipped the first one in 4-1. The second one's trickier to grab. He might end up grabbing it in 4-2, if at all. Sonic, meanwhile, I finally get one of these right. Team bottom route. I'm more of a top route safety person myself, but I can appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm gonna bet that ZZZ is gonna go for the first power-up in 4-2, and then he's gonna take top route, is my guess.
All right, so coming on in here, we'll see what ZZZ is on to. 4-3, again, it's a little bit of a... I don't want to call it a snooze fest of a level. There are some tricky jumps here, but it is very straightforward. Sonic's going to be going for the Sky Boots frame rule. You have to hold right the entire time, cannot tap left. You have to hit this platform at a specific spot, and there's going to be a pixel of sky behind Mario's boots there. I'm not proficient enough at it to tell if he got it, but that's the technique that you were going for. Meanwhile, ZZZ did get the power-up, did go down. He's through, going through. 4-4 is going to be the first of our maze levels here. You're going to see the runners take a very specific route through here. That's the only way to advance the game. SuperSonic gets the 4-4 clip. He is on great pace right now. What a job by SuperSonic. Oh boy, I think that's the first time we've seen that in the tournament so far that I've seen.
I believe so. That is insane. So that saves a second, but it is so tough to get that it is hilarious to see someone go for.
It is
even
the
funnier to see them
swaggiest.
get it.
the swaggiest second you could save. World 5 now. We're finally getting into the second half of the game. It is a little more difficult. You've got this calm before the storm that's 5-1. There's a couple of trip points, but it's really 5-2 and 5-3 that make this world as difficult as it is, and it's really a run killer for any Warpless runner.
Yeah, 100%. At the beginning of 5-2 here, we'll see there's this cannon right away that if you're going full speed, it may or may not decide to shoot you, and it takes. Okay, so Supersonic got an early shot on it, so he was able to jump under the bullet. But that particular cannon is just nasty.
All right.
And then this level also introduces Hammer Bros. I believe this is the first level with Hammer Bros in it.
I believe you are correct.
Oh, wait, no, there's Hammer Bros in World 3.
Oh, yeah, but those don't count. These are the first ones to give you a problem if you're running through it.
Yeah.
All right, now 5-3. This is going to be a little bit more of a tester, similar to 2-3, but you've got the Bullet Bills coming after you. Or, I'm sorry, 1-3. And you'll see Bop the Goomba, so that way you don't despawn that platform there. There's a sprite overload that will despawn the platform, and you can't advance the game at all unless you get those sprites off the screen. So, very difficult. Sometimes you're not rewarded for going fast in this game. So
Yeah. Right. For not going fast and also going pacifist style.
Absolutely. All right, Supersonic does go for the world-famous Roy L. Goodbar strat. If you stop right underneath that power-up, wait till 292, those bars will be set up perfectly for you. So he's going to wait here at this. Beautiful duck jump through. Oh, underneath the Potaboo. Oh, takes a hit in 5-4, though. Fortunately for him, 6-1 is a very easy place to grab power-ups. He can suit up pretty quickly again coming up through here, but this is going to give ZZZ a bit of a window to close the gap that's widening right now.
Yeah, so level 5-4, that approach to Bowser is so difficult to go without getting hit. So he got up to Bowser, and then, yeah, just shot him one too few times, it looked like, causing him to run into him. Now, I think that there are 2 power-ups in 6-1, which is nice, but they are pretty tough to grab. Just because of Lakitu throwing the Spinies down. It's really easy to grab your power-ups and then take a hit just from the Spinies raining down on you. ZZZ, meanwhile, makes it through 5-4 without getting hit, so he's with Firepower, and he can just cruise through this level.
With 6-1, too, with Lakitu, the game's programmed where wherever Mario gets a power-up, Lakitu immediately throws a Spiny. So if you could kind of control how far you go over to make him kind of overshoot you a little bit, you're in a little bit better a position. Into 6-2 now, you're going to see the Piranha Plants. This is a very difficult level if you don't know the exact path, or if your snipe game is not on point. Sonic taking it a little bit safe there at the steps, but he is still maintaining a pretty significant lead right now.
Yeah, definitely one thing that takes a lot of practice that you see every runner do all the time is just that ability to jump up and just shoot plants that are below them. They make it look easy, but try it for yourself, and it's pretty tough, especially because the plants have such a small hitbox, which is a virtue when you're trying to jump over them. But when you're trying to shoot them, sometimes you can shoot just a little too early and it bounces over them, or just a little too late, it goes right through their heads. It can be tough.
Absolutely. Sonic through 6-3 with a little bit of pause there at one point. Timer. Now, pretty much, I would say just an equal difficulty for 5-4 is 6-4. Beautiful dodge there on the fire bar. These fire bars can be brutal for the patterns. As
yeah.
Sonic takes a hit. He's back down to Small Mario. Another small opportunity to gain some ground. Still a clean run. Beautiful max grab, though, coming through there.
Yeah, the big thing to remember about power-up losses is that really the time loss comes from having to recollect power-ups should you choose. When you get hit, you only lose about a second.
All right, so the big question now comes into strategy. Sonic is going to go for the re-power-up here in 7-1. You're actually running out of power-ups as this game progresses. The times to grab them are getting less and less frequent. You've got, I think, 2 or 3 here in 7-1. You don't have one in 7-2. You've only got one in 7-3, and that's it until you reach 8-2. But by that point, there's no need for it. Okay, he's got a bill. Does he go for it? No, he's going up over the top.
Yeah, really, when you say that there's no need for the power-ups, it's true because really the big thing that firepower saves you on time in this game is if you fire kill the Bowsers, you'll notice that the victory fanfare and the level end transition begins immediately when you touch the axe if Bowser is dead. But if you hit the axe without fire killing Bowser, you have to wait for the bridge to collapse. You got to wait for Bowser to fall into the lava, and it takes 2 or 3 seconds to go through that animation.
All right, meanwhile, coming here in the second of our full swim levels, both runners are now into the same levels. ZZZ has definitely made up some ground with a couple power-up losses here. As you see, it's a little bit more difficult. There's a lot more cheeps. There's a lot more bloopers. Sonic making easy work of it, though. In 316 through the pipe. That is fantastic. It gets tougher with the choke points here. Those red cheeps, there's more frequent of them. They actually swim faster than the green cheeps, so they can be on top of you before you know it when they spawn on screen here. So 7-3, again, this is going to be your last power-up for a few levels, so if you take a hit from here, it's pretty much game over as far as getting Fire Mario back. It's really unnecessary at this point. You're going to see the cheeps flying like in 2-3, but now we have some Koopas coming after you as well that could definitely trip you up. One of the biggest dangers here is if one of those cheeps hits the Koopa, due to the collision detection, it'll actually turn that Koopa around, and where you think it's going to be, it's no longer going to be.
Yeah, which causes you, if you're trying to jump onto the end of a platform and then over a gap, you'll end up landing on the Koopa and bouncing right into the gap. It's so brutal. Also,
every Super Mario speedrunner's least favorite Alice in Chains song, Down in a Hole.
I love the way, by the way, I'm just noticing every time that ZZZ gets through a water section, the way that he duck slides into the pipe is just great. Absolutely. I should have known earlier on 4-2 when I said that he was going top route. I should have known ZZZ is the type to definitely go bottom route.
All right, so second of our maze levels here, 7-4. Again, you're going to see kind of a weird pattern. It's down, middle, bottom, middle, top, top, middle, top. And you're going to see how they navigate it and through. And that's pretty much going to be it for wanting to kill Bowser with fire. But having fire here in 8-1, it's very doable, small only, as you can see in our any percent world record. It's just so much easier to do with the fire to be able to get through these fire plants, not have to do any tricky pipe jumps here. So Sonic went for the star there to set up the good judges on some any percent, but he missed it. And coming up to the end here, ZZZ, again, not far behind. With one world left, these guys are close.
Yeah, super not far behind with those couple power downs that SuperSonic took, and the fact that they are both in level 8-1 with firepower now is really significant. And man, the amount of swag that ZZZ puts into this level is it's something to behold.
All right, beautiful start to the duck jump there in 8-2. That is a very tricky jump, especially when you're just learning out the game. So you're going to see ZZZ. He's going to take a little bit of a slow up here, so he is actually going to lose time to Supersonic with the difference. And, Supersonic's definitely employing the famous Xerox BBBB strats here in 8-2.
That's right. He's going in, brushing, bouncing, and bopping his way through 8-2. There's this part near the end of 8-2 where you got these 3 Koopas and a cannon, and it's one of the most treacherous, dangerous spots. ZZZ is about to hit it right now. Right after this pipe, there's these Koopas, this cannon, and then also this Koopa on the staircase. It's such a difficult passage, but Xerox developed the BBBB that kind of makes it more predictable and fast to get through.
All right, Supersonic taking the slowdown for the bottom of the flagpole to get through 8-3. 8-3 without a power-up is one of the most difficult levels, I think, in any NES game that you can put on. These Hammer Bros are ruthless. With fire, it's a little bit easier to go through. So maintaining your power-up to 8-3 makes your life a whole lot easier. So coming into 8-4 now, this is really it. Supersonic, it's his race to lose. He's one mistake pretty much away from it. There's no checkpoints here in any of these. Gets the pipe jump. He's up and through. Really, a mistake here on any point is going to be the race for anybody. Sonic, beautiful turnaround room coming up. He's coming up into our final swim here. So as ZZZ is getting through, did Sonic go for the duck swim here? I missed to see if he set it up. Yes, he did. He absolutely did. Beautiful job.
Oh my
SuperSonic
gosh.
sliding in
And
through.
he slid into the pipe that time.
One more hammer, bro. Under the Potaboo. He takes the hit. This is going to be a little dangerous. Up through.
Nice.
Uses the iframe. SuperSonic is our winner today. 1938 on the timer. We have an official SRL time of 1944. Great job by SuperSonic.
Yeah, and ZZZ is just behind him in the water section of 8-4 now.
All right, he's sliding through. Comes up through on the hammer, bro. He gets underneath the Potaboo, slides under, grabs the axe, saves the princess. 20:06 on the timer. Official SRL time of 2018.
Absolutely beautiful run from both runners. Man, though, that 1938 is such an impressive race time. That's absolutely insane.
Absolutely, just both times, and just the way the tournament's been going, how the runners have been just dropping. It's just been fantastic dash this year to watch everything going through. We're going to see if we can pull Sonic in. ZZZ is a Japanese runner. I don't know where the barrier is on that, so not sure we're going to get him in, but we'll see if there he is, in fact. So let's bring him on in. The winner of our race today, SuperSonic. First off, GG's amazing run, 1938. Walk us through that run. How'd you feel?
I felt pretty good overall. I didn't really practice all that much except for like earlier today, and I only had like 3 hours of sleep too. So I was like, you know what? Let's just go all out, see what happens. And thankfully, it worked out just fine.
That's funny to hear because, man, 3 hours of sleep, that's the kind of thing where you might be able to fool yourself into saying, like, I'm in the zone, but really it's just a nightmare. So
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to, full disclosure, guys, I'm dealing with a really bad allergy attack right now. So glad Dash has been able to turn off my mic a few times and do some gross things over here. Looking ahead, very smooth run for you, Sonic. You had a couple of 2 power-up losses through the whole run. Were you planning on going like PB strats going through? Were you looking at the spreadsheet? What was your strategy? I know you kind of 3 hours sleep in YOLO, but what was the full plan to get on through here?
My mind was set on playing as Big Fire the entire way. I actually didn't have the spreadsheet open, so I took it safe in 3-4, 5-4, and 6-4, but I got hit in both 5-4 and 6-4, unfortunately. But yeah, like I had some hiccups here and there, like early on in the game, especially in 1-2, because I was originally going to go for the faster strat, but I tried to go for the Koopa kick, but it went the other way. So I'm like, okay, I gotta figure out something here on the fly. So I went for the other Koopa instead.
yeah, it looked great the whole time. Yeah, and as SuperSonic was saying, right, besides those couple power-up losses, it was just such an impressive run on every level, especially 4-4. The 4-4 clip was super fun to watch. Is that something that you found yourself really consistent with lately?
I've been roughly like 80% on the clip while I was practicing PB attempts. But I decided to go for it and see what happens. Like if I missed it, then that's fine. But I was actually surprised I got it, and thankfully Bowser was nice, so it worked out in the long run.
Yeah, that was fantastic to watch that clip. That was so hyped for it. Looking ahead now, SuperSonic, you advance into what I'm semifinals of the second chance bracket. You're awaiting the winner of Goofy Chocobo and the young upstart Marzo 2. What do you think about that race? Do you really have a preference of who you want to see in the semifinals here going on in the tournament?
I honestly don't have a preference. Both of them are very phenomenal runners. Goofy's been on a tear lately when it comes to Mario games, and then of course Mars, as you mentioned, he's been up and coming, and he had really good PBs recently. So either way, whoever I end up facing in the next match, it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. The Goofy versus Mars match is going to be super, super fun to watch. And yeah, so coming up here, is there any other comments that you have on your run?
Well, I'm just glad I didn't really do like major mistakes in the entire run, like end up dying or anywhere. But yeah, I mean, GG's to ZZZ, very awesome runner as well. Have a lot of respect for him, and hope to see him again, like in future tournaments. And of course, thanks to you guys for the commentary. Really appreciate it.
Always. So, what is a tournament like this? You also happen to have a kind of a small event coming up here where you're going to be running Warpless. Little note event, GDQX, I guess, over at TwitchCon. Not familiar with them. How are you? Is this kind of helping you prepare for that to get up onto that for the next stage? So,
yeah, you can pretty much say that. This is actually good practice, especially in a race setting, because you only have one shot. So, like, whatever happens, happens. And, you know, Tecate, or as I call him, 18 Pack, because, you know, he's named after a beer. Like, he's a great runner as well. I'm really looking forward to that race at GDQX coming up. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And we're absolutely looking forward to it. Super Mario community over the last couple months just blowing up in 2D Mario. It's been so much fun to see what's going on. Just a little bit of notes, schedule notes coming up through here. Super Mario Bros. Tournament, we are now down to the final 5, but that doesn't mean the matches are stopping anytime soon. Tomorrow evening, we are going to have that said Marzo 2 v Goofy Chocobo match. We don't have a speed gaming channel that it's going to be on yet. I just recommend you follow all 82 speed gaming channels. There's so much awesome races going on, awesome different tournaments. Check out some different games. I know they run a lot of Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past randos, some of the stuff like that. I watch that all the time. Definitely give these runners a follow, ZZZ and Supersonic, as well as Dash Retro. Absolutely fantastic streamers to watch. Monday, August 5th, 7 p.m. Eastern time. So unfortunately, you have to do the math. I'm terrible at that. Will be Mars and Goofy Chocobo with, again, Dash and myself doing the commentary on it. Looking good. As far as other games going on right now, in about an hour and a half, 3 p.m. Eastern, on this channel, we're going to have, I'm going to botch the name, sorry, Azuri Dreams coming up. But over on Speed Gaming 2 and 3, we're also going to have Super Metroid Double Anti-Bingo on Speed Gaming 2. And like I just said, the Super Metroid Link to the Past randomizer community race over on Speed Gaming 3. So guys, stick around. We got some fantastic stuff going on. Dash Retro, any final thoughts from you?
Yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out to ZZZ since he's not here for an interview, but he had a really, really excellent tournament run. It was just super, super fun to watch all of his races. So yeah, it was just a pleasure to see each of them. And as far as today goes, especially too, one thing to point out is just the fact that every level, really his 20-minute time comes from a couple deaths in a couple levels, but other than that, every single other level he performed perfectly on. You know what I mean? Where it was as good of a time as you can possibly get, just super skillful, lots of swag everywhere and all that. But just a couple simple mistakes was all that it took to not be able to defeat Supersonic in this instance. But yeah, his tournament run was excellent, and it was a pleasure to watch.
Absolutely. What a great run for ZZZ. The Japanese speedrunning community really comes out and does for Goofy Chocobo in chat letting me know I made a mistake. It did get rescheduled to Wednesday. I remember that now. The schedule didn't update, but I'm going to take the full blame for that because I'm supposed to be there. I'm supposed to know those things. Any final thoughts from you, Supersonic?
Well, thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you all enjoyed the race. And yeah, definitely stay tuned for the next match coming up. And I'm looking forward to either facing Goofy or Mars. It's going to be a lot of fun regardless. Although if I were to have to pick one, I would love to race Goofy Chocobo because he's my green bro. And yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. Just regardless. I mean, I'm being a broken record right now. I just don't know what to say because I'm so tired.
Well, Sonic, it is late morning for you over on the West Coast. Go ahead, take an afternoon nap. You deserved a nice little victory nap. As always, I like to thank Speed Gaming for helping us host this tournament. They do a fantastic job. I can't put them over enough. I do want to thank Rupert83 for organizing the whole thing. He is kind of the linchpin for all this. We have some great admins in here, Tecate, Xerox Feed, among others, that just do a fantastic job. But Rupert's kind of the one that keeps us all in line and everything. It's a thankless job that he makes $0 on doing. So, other than that, that's going to be it for us today. Like I said, stick around. We got some great speedrunning coming on today. We'll be back Wednesday, not Monday, Wednesday for the Mars Goofy match. That's going to be fantastic. 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That's going to do it for us today, though. For Supersonic, for Dash Retro, for ZZZ, I am the Elder Sport. You guys have a great Sunday. We'll see you next time.
Have a good one.
Take care, everybody.